everyone, welcome into our latest Trade to Black podcast. I am your host, Shad Dales, and today we're going to dive into the biggest developments in cannabis for the week of March the 24th. From the hotly contested hemp debate to a high-profile op-ed from former Congressman Matt Gaetz, plus major updates from Tilray, Planet 13, and Gold Flora. Lots going on, so let's get into it because this is TDR's biggest developments in cannabis for the week of March 24th. Let's kick things off with hemp because the conversation is heating up and not in a mellow way. Some in the industry have started throwing around the prohibitionist label at anyone suggesting reform, as if asking for rules means banning the whole plant. But let's be real, no one's asking to shut down hemp. But the current landscape, it's the Wild West. No regulation, no consistency, and a whole lot of chaos. The push here is for common sense regulation, guidelines that keep things safe, predictable, and legal. So there's no need to kill the ride. We just want to make sure the wheels don't fall off. Next up, a legal showdown at the New Mexico border. Several state-licensed cannabis businesses are now suing the feds. Why? Because Customs and DHS seized their products and assets, despite everything being legal under New Mexico law. The feds' response? Cannabis is still Schedule 1 under federal law, so yeah, we're taking it. But here's the twist. In court filings, the agencies hinted that if cannabis were reclassified to a Schedule 3, things could change. Business owners might actually get due process. Imagine that. Out of the drama, leaked audio revealed a DHS official allegedly brushed off concerns by saying, quote, "Who cares? They make a lot of money." Nice. So for now, crossing state lines means risking it all, even if you're following state law to a T. Next up, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is back in cannabis headlines, this time calling for rescheduling marijuana to Schedule 3. In an op-ed, he praised Donald Trump's supposed leadership on cannabis reform, though conveniently skipped mentioning President Biden, who actually launched the rescheduling review. Gaetz said this move won't fix everything overnight, but it's a start. Still, the current Trump team, Bondi and Cole, aren't exactly pro-cannabis. The industry is cautiously optimistic but skeptical. So let's just say the smoke signals are mixed. Let's now shift our attention to medical news involving cannabis and autism spectrum disorder. A new review of 7 studies suggests CBD-rich cannabis formulations might help with symptoms like anxiety, sleep, and social behavior in ASD patients. Promising? Yes. Conclusive? Not yet. Researchers stress the need for larger controlled trials, but early signs show mild side effects and some meaningful improvements. This is good. States like Colorado, Connecticut, and Michigan are already recognizing ASD as a qualifying condition. It's a space to watch closely. Let's now move to Ohio, where local governments are pushing back hard on a proposed tax revenue change. After voters approved adult use cannabis in 2023 with the promise that 36% of tax revenue would go to municipalities, state lawmakers now want to slash it or eliminate it altogether. And cities are fuming. Ravenna says it's needed to avoid tax hikes. Euclid called it a broken promise. In Lorraine, they flat out accused lawmakers of thinking voters were clueless. The state expects to bring in $62 million from marijuana excise taxes in 2025. The governor's budget, though, poof, local allocations gone, maybe even a tax hike by 20%. Bottom line, Ohio lawmakers are saying, quote, "Trust us," while their budget says, surprise. Over to New York now, where legalized cannabis lounges were approved back in 2021. And here we are in 2025 with 0 lounges. Dispensary owners like Arash Halani are stuck paying rent on lounge-ready spaces that sit empty. State regulators claim supply chain and public health issues are slowing things down, but entrepreneurs are bleeding capital while the black market still thrives. As we know, time is money, and New York is burning at both ends right now. Let's move now to the north of the border. The RCMP, they just made a major bust, seizing 17,000 illegal cannabis plants worth $16 million. 6 people were charged in a scheme that stretched from Ontario to the U.S. and Hong Kong. The group allegedly used bogus Health Canada licenses, laundered millions, and had workers living on site illegally. Canada does continue to outpace the U.S. in cracking down illicit operations, and this, let's face it, was a big one. Let's shift now to the business side of things. Gold Flora filed voluntary receivership this week, citing lawsuits, debt, and a struggling balance sheet after its parent company acquisition. $11.5 million in defaulted notes later, the court is stepping in. We flagged this months ago, so the writing was on the wall. This one's now ahead of the restructuring pile. Next up, Planet 13. They reported some mixed results. Revenue rose 18.2% to $116.4 million, thanks to Florida growth, but price compression and impairments dragged them to a $47.8 million loss. Wow. Margins did improve year over year, and 3 new Florida stores are up and running. So there's a pulse here, but they'll need to stay lean to stay smart in 2025. In other news, Tilray and Hexo, they scored a big legal win in Massachusetts, with the court tossing an $8 million shareholder lawsuit over their merger process. The plaintiff claimed foul play, but the court found no evidence. Robinhood got off the hook too. So this one's a win for Tilray and, really, a loss for the ambulance chasers. Next up, Air Wellness. They're making leadership changes again. CFO Brad Asher is out, and Donna Granado is stepping in. With a strong finance background, Granado brings experience from Shutterstock, Vivix, and more. But without a permanent CEO and big debt refi looming, this CFO shuffle isn't exactly confidence-inspiring. Finally, Verano. They just tapped into their real estate portfolio, securing a $12 million senior mortgage from Rainbow Realty. It's small, but it is strategic. With most of Verano's properties owned outright, this gives them optionality without over-leveraging. Something to keep an eye on as they navigate market pressures. Oh, how Verano has changed. And that's a wrap for this week's biggest developments in cannabis. If you want to stay in the loop and know where we get all this information, it's easy. Scan this QR code and become a daily baked-in newsletter subscriber delivered to your inbox weekdays, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, giving you all the latest information analysis on the business and reform side of the cannabis industry. We like to think we got a big year ahead, especially if Trump cannabis reform announcement drops. So stay locked in with us here at TDR's Trade to Black podcast. If you like this content we produce, don't forget to give this video a like, leave your comments below, and if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We'd appreciate it here at TDR. That's it for this week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. And like I always say, stay connected, stay open-minded, and I'll see you next time at our latest Trade to Black podcast. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and thanks again, everyone, for watching.